Welcome back to part 3 of Eldar vs Orks 4K Apocalypse Batrep. So we start with Eldar turn 3. So just checking with Wraith's sight on the two Wraith Lords are out of range, both pass. Eldrad fortunes himself and then casts Doom on the Orcs that are at that objective, and so they're doomed. And the other Farseer casts Guide on the Dire Avenger and himself inside that Wave Serpent. So the Wave Serpent moves up, disembarks the Dire Avengers. I guess you know what's going to come next. Warwalkers move closer to the Commandos. The Fire Prisoner that can't shoot just gets out of the road of the Commandos. And the Night Spinner just moves around. Warp Hunter moves up. And the Wraith Lord moves within 6 inches to try and pop that battle wagon. The Vipers move just so it can get its jink and 3s to hit it. And the Jet Bikes move up as well. Wraithseer and the Wraith Lords moving up. And I move up the Wraith Guard as well. We've triggered that artifact that's in No Man's Zone. It turns out to be pretty much night fighting. So now for this turn, there's night fighting, which we pretty much forget for the whole of this turn. Warp Spiders jump closer to the Grots, and the Scorpions move up towards the Tank Busters. So the Jet Bikes are turbo boosting. The Vipers shoot their missile launchers, but don't hit. Now the Shuriken catapults, a couple of hits, but no wounds on the bikes. So the Avatar shoots its Wailing Doom and 2d6 armor ping, gets a pen. It's +2 to the dice roll, and so blows up that battle wagon. So out come the Death Star, and they get a few wounds, which he puts all onto the war bosses, 2+ save, so they're all good. And the snap firing the Twin Link Bright Lancers, but fail to wound. The who's his face Wraithseer does scatter a little bit, but does get a couple of hits. Actually, no, must have missed everything. So the Night Spinner now direct hit on the Pain Boy. I want to get rid of that Feel No Pain. So now we start all this Look Out Sir and wound allocation shenanigans. So the Pain Boy is basically trying to palm him off to Knobs. And so this is on the Pain Boy. He rolls, his arm save fails it, and fails his Feel No Pain. So the Pain Boy's taken a wound. So now on the Knob, 4+ save, Feel No Pain, passes. So we'll Look Out Sir, passes on the Knob, passes his armor save, Look Out Sir, passes, and actually no, failed it. So failed its Feel No Pain. So the Pain Boy is dead, and pretty much after all that, the Pain Boy is dead and the Knob takes 1 wound. So the Warp Hunter uses Flame template, needing 2s to wound. Doesn't get any 6s, unfortunately. And so now the War Boss is offloading Look Out Sirs to the Knob. It gets a few invulnerable saves. The Knob dies. The next closest is another War Boss, so there's no point. And so the War Boss takes 2 wounds. So we lost 1 Knob and 2 wounds off a War Boss. So the Dark Reapers now fire into the Commandos. There was just front guy had a cover save and he passed all of them. So now the Wraith Lord uses its Flame. Those Orcs do still have Feel No Pain, so a couple of those die. The Wraith Guard check their range. There's a couple in range and 3s to hit and only 1 wound, and I believe he passes it. So the Dire Avengers now are all in range. So the Exarch needs 2s to hit, gets with Guide, hits all of them. And so the other Dire Avengers with Guide, and then with Doom, with rerolls. You can imagine where this is going. Pretty much we get something like 23 wounds. So start the wound pool, and I think there's like 4 or 3 Orcs before the Knob. Well, there's 4 Orcs, so we just do the 5+ cover saves with Feel No Pains. 2 die, roll for those. Another one dies, next one, and he dies. So now we're onto the Knob. Start the Look Out Sirs, fail it, 5+ failed, and the Knob dies. So we roll just the rest of the Orcs, 5+ armor save or cover save, and 5+ Feel No Pain, and the squad pretty much dies. Front Warwalker is the only one in range, so he shoots the Commandos. Needs 2s to wound, gets 3 wounds. None of those are saved, but we forgot about the night fighting, so but I think they all would have died anyway. Spiders into the rear of the wagon, and we're just rolling the Exarch, needs 2s to hit. The other one that's got rear, all the rest are on the side, so we just roll for the rear armor, and I get 1 pen, and pretty much it's an explode. So just those 2 Warp Spiders destroyed the looted wagon. So now charges, the Avatar charges into, or declares he's charged into Gaz. We're just doing the overwatches. We stuffed up, Gaz can't actually overwatch. And long story short, get pretty much no wounds. Scorpions, well, he easily makes the range. And we get a challenge going, and Gaz and the Avatar are going to tonk it out. So the Scorpions into the Tank Busters, one actually dies, and then I roll a Snake Eyes, so they don't make the charge. So the Wraith Lord challenges the Knob, who accepts. He swings, nothing.
Three attacks knocked with the Power Claw. What was it? Nothing.
So nothing there. Gaz now declares a War, so he can get a Invon save. The Avatar goes first, gets 3 hits and does 1 wound, and with a 2+ Invon, he actually fails it, so Gaz is down to 3. He swings back, gets 3 hits, needs 2 wounds with a 4+ Invon, 1 wound left, not enough, so Gaz does take out the Avatar. Now they consolidate 5 inches. So now we have the Death Dread versus the Wraith Lord. Wraith Lord swings, re-rolls his hits because of the sword, gets 2 hits and a pen. Or gets 2 pens, and no surprise, the Death Dread is dead. And he consolidates towards the objective. So now we move into Orcs turn 3. The Commandos move up towards the Dark Reapers. And the Copters now move around to shoot into the Vipers. The truck here tank shocks the bikes, but they pass their leadership, so they just move out of the road, and the truck's now contesting. The Knobs, because of the Night Spinner, are in dangerous, so we've got to roll them one at a time, but there was no wounds there. The Orc bosses detach from the unit and head towards the tanks. And they're also in difficult, so they've all got to roll. So Gaz and the Knobs move up 3 inches. The Tank Busters, they move up, getting closer towards the Wraith Lord. They want to take the one out with 1 wound left. So the Zap Gun shoots the Wraith Lord with 1 wound left. And what strength is it? It's a strength 7 hit, and it does, I think it misses. The Tank Busters fail to hit as well. So the Copters with their twin link rockets shoot into the Vipers, and they get 2 pens and a glance. I jink a glance, so the 2 pens do squat, but no, the whole point's taken off, kill off 2 Vipers. So the rolling for distance on the charges, the Orc bosses make it into both of the tanks. And here we have Gaz attempting to charge the Racier, but fails. So now the Commandos shooting the Overwatch. The Exarch hits with his missile launcher, and 4 Dark Reapers actually hit. And so 2 pluses to wound and 3s to wound, so there's actually 5 wounds. So 5 of the Commandos actually die. They get a good roll, so they make it into combat against the Dark Reapers. So the Snickrot challenges the Exarch, who accepts, and he goes first but fails to do anything. The Dark Reapers go next, but they fail to do any wounds. And Snickrot, or whatever his name is, and he does enough wounds to kill the Exarch. The normal other Commandos into the Dark Reapers, do a few wounds and kill 3. So there's 1 Reaper remaining, and he fails the leadership, but he gets away and flees 3 inches. So there's 1 Dark Reaper fleeing, and the Orcs consolidate and take over that defense gun. So onto the Wave Serpents, auto hits and auto pens, so it's, as you can guess, easily destroyed. And the other War Boss onto the Warp Hunter, that blows that up as well. So here we have the never-ending combat, 1 hit, and rolls a 1 to kill that Knob. The Knob gets 2 hits and actually fails to wound as well.
Nice. Yeah, the race, that's good.
So Eldrad casts Fortune, which passes, and then Doom on Gaz, passes as well. The Racier, feel no pain on himself, should have rolled 2 dice, but wouldn't have mattered, passed anyway. Viper moves up to hit the back of the truck there, and the jet bikes move over the wall to get into range of the Knobs, and the Warp Spiders jump over, land in the crater, which is dangerous, and actually fail a few, and 1 actually dies. So the Die Avengers in the tank move up, and so as do the Wraith Guard, they move towards Gaz, as do the Wraith Lords and the Racier. Fire Prism gets line of sight of Gaz and the Knobs. Warwalkers move up, Night Spinner moves, and now we're shooting the Shuriken Cannon into the truck, and I get one glance. The Shuriken catapults and don't do anything. So the Viper with its missile launcher hits, needs a 2, nothing. So the D cannon on the Wraithseer hits and gets 2 wounds, and so he's doing his lookout sirs, and then his invulnerable saves, and I think he kills. I think one knob dies. The Wraithguard now shoot, get 2 instant death, and so now we start all this lookout sir. So he fails 1, passes 1, so the Gaz takes a wound. 5+ invuln, the knob takes a wound, and then we've got lookout sirs as well. And I don't know, this all gets messy when you start doing all this. Eldrad shoots his pistol. Why I didn't mind war, I've got no idea. So the Wraithlord shoots its Bright Lance and gets a wound. Lookout sir, now it's on the knob, fails, so the knob dies. Other Wraithlord, Bright Lance, wounds, lookout sir, passes on the knob, fails, so another knob takes a wound, but should have instant killed him, but we forgot that. More wounds and lookout sirs, and he actually passed then. So the Fire Prism hits Gaz and gets a direct hit, so it needs a 2, and it's AP 2, so you lookout sirs, gets a 1, so now it's a 5+ invuln, which he fails, so Gaz is down to 1 wound. The jet bikes into the knobs, and we get 2 hits, with one with a cannon and one with the catapult, and they both end up wounding, and the knobs actually fail their 4+ save, so 2 more wounds on the knobs. Night Spinner on the commandos scatters a little bit, but still hits a few of them, so they'll need 2s to wound, and gets it. So it's from the center of the blast, so I think they've got like a 6+ save, so it takes out a fair few. All the Warwalkers are in range, and they actually go to ground behind the defense line, so with a 3 up, he fails 3, and I think that kills pretty much all of them. So rolling for distance and Overwatch on the Scorpions, they actually make it and don't lose any. And we have the Wraithseer into Gaz, and the Warlock and the bikes charge the truck that's got 1 hit point left, hull point I should say. So the Warlock gets 3 hits, and roll with Armor Bane gets 1 pen, a nothing, and a nothing. And so just checking to see what it does. Doesn't do anything. Ramshackle, because it had 1 hull point left, and so that truck is just a wreck. Explodes, wounds 1 of the jet bikes, but he passes. So that objective's back onto Eldar. So due to Wraith Sight, the war boss actually gets auto hits and got 3 wounds. So as easy as that, finally he's dead. So the Phoenix Lord decides to use his sword, his chainsword, instead of his power fist, and goes first and wipes them all out. So now we have the Wraithseer versus Gaz. Wraithseer has the higher initiative, gets 2 hits and gets to reroll, so 3 hits all up, needing 2s to wound. He is AP 2, being a monstrous creature, and Gaz fails his invulns and actually finally dies after all that beating. So now we're rolling. I've got no bloody idea. Now I remember, the Warp Spiders are charging the Grots, and that was Overwatch. So I think it did nothing. So they move up. There's like a challenge with the Orc Herder on the Exarch. And so we've got some rolling on here. I think the Exarch easily kills the Herder. The Grots now go, because the Spiders are going last, going through difficult terrain. They pass their armor save. So now the Warp Spiders attack. Get a number of hits and roll, needing 3s to wound Grots, and they don't have any armor saves, so they lose by a bucket load and fail leadership, and basically consolidate and easily catch and slay. So stay tuned for part 4.